Good morning, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It's Friday, August 22nd, 2025, and this is your AM update.
They stole $550 million from me with a fake case, and it was overturned. They said this was a fake case. It's a terrible thing, but that's a nice victory.
A New York court throws out the $500 million civil fraud penalty levied against the Trump Organization, a huge win for the president and a blow to one of his chief rivals, New York State Attorney General Letitia James. DHS sets the record straight on several left-wing sob stories about illegal immigrants.
Boys in the locker room, they were having a conversation among themselves. They were secretly videotaped. And now it's come to this where my son is being suspended and being characterized as someone that he's not.
Northern Virginia, the latest battleground in President Trump's crackdown on woke school bathroom policies. All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM Update. You know the feeling. Someone in your family gets sick and then you're stuck waiting for a doctor's appointment or the pharmacy's out of stock and then you're left wondering why something so basic has to be so hard. Too many American families face this reality. And this is why many are turning to all-family pharmacy. They're doing what Big Pharma won't, which is putting families back in control and making it possible to be proactive, not reactive with your health. This is not just some online pharmacy. All-family pharmacy is based in Florida and family-owned. And there you can order ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, antibiotics, daily maintenance meds, emergency kits, everything you'd want to have on hand before you need it. You know, you're going on like a trip. You want to get some of these things in your suitcase before the crisis hits. Order online and they will work with licensed doctors to provide the prescription for you. Then your medications get shipped right to your door. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Megyn. Use that code Megyn10 to get 10% off your order today. Again, go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Megyn and do use that code Megyn10 when you check out to get 10% off your order today. Be prepared. Be in control. This is healthcare that works for you. A massive legal victory for President Donald Trump and the Trump Organization on Thursday. A New York appellate court tossing out the $465 million civil fraud judgment in a case brought by Attorney General Letitia James, the number ballooning to over $500 million after interest. The ruling, an embarrassing blow to AG James, now under investigation herself for alleged mortgage fraud, who made it her mission in life to tell us no one is above the law, and who ran for office promising to bring down Donald Trump by any means necessary. A flashback from a 2023 speech here at a leftist event.
I will be honored when I walk into that courtroom on October 2nd. I will come back before you soon with a check for $250 million and to let you know that he is no longer allowed to do business in the state of New York.
Rabidly hard-left partisan Judge Arthur Engoron finding Mr. Trump liable in early 2024 in a ruling that sounded more like it was written by a jilted bride than by a sober trial judge, finding Mr. Trump had inflated the value of his assets to get better loan and insurance terms, slapping the defendants with devastating fines and other non-monetary injunctive relief measures, which remain untouched by today's decision. President Trump taking his victory lap on Thursday in D.C.
Because I had a victory today, you know. They stole $550 million from me with a fake case, and it was overturned. They said this was a fake case. It's a terrible thing, but that's a nice victory, you know. I mean, it's not bad. You know, we all have our limits, but this was a terrible thing that done. It was a witch hunt, and I've had more witch hunts than any human being, I think, in history. And here we are with the President of the United States, so it didn't work out too well for them, but maybe now it's turned a little bit. These are very dishonest people. We have to fight. We have to win.
Donald Trump Jr. posting to X, quote, "It was always a witch hunt, election interference, and a total miscarriage of justice. And even the left-leaning New York appeals court agrees. No more lawfare." White House senior counselor Peter Navarro, himself a victim of lawfare, having served prison time for refusing to comply with a congressional subpoena, reacting to reporters from the White House.
Letitia James is another one that belongs in jail. The Democrats, look, they really overplayed their hand on this because they thought they could take Donald Trump out. They didn't. And in the process, they totally destroyed American people's faith in our Justice Department, and they got him got President Trump a lot of votes because of that.
All 5 appellate court justices tossing the $500 million fine, though split on other aspects of the case. Thursday's ruling leaving in place smaller penalties against the organization, including a ban on Don Jr. and Eric Trump running New York companies for 2 years. But the court noted the defendants could seek a stay on the judgment until the state's highest court rules. AG James trying to spin her devastating loss in a statement, quote, "It should not be lost on history. Yet another court has ruled that the president violated the law. We will seek appeal to the Court of Appeals and continue to protect the rights and interests of New Yorkers." Former Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Andy McCarthy, Thursday on Fox, suggesting an appeal could further vindicate the Trump Organization.
They will deal with the question that seems to have vexed the appellate division, which is the whole merits of the case and whether Letitia James, the Attorney General in New York State, should have been able to use a consumer protection statute that had never been used in this way to try to establish a fraud case based on sophisticated financial actors where, this is not a situation that a consumer protection statute was ever meant to apply to.
The so-called victims in this case, large, sophisticated corporate banks, said they were paid back in full plus interest and had no complaints about the deals with Mr. Trump. President Trump serving dinner to D.C. law enforcement on Thursday night, thanking the officials for their work as part of the federal takeover of local policing in Washington, a temporary measure under the Home Rule Act. Mr. Trump at the Anacostia Park Police Station praising law enforcement.
I've never received so many phone calls thanking me for what we've done in Washington, D.C., from people that haven't gone to a restaurant literally in 4 years. And they said, what you've done it's unprecedented, because they said it was just unsafe. We couldn't do it. The crime numbers are way down, but I know within 2 weeks it's going to be at a level that's even far superior.
Since the federal takeover, D.C. police, federal agents, and the National Guard demonstrating a massive show of force throughout the district. The White House reporting more than 630 arrests, including 251 people in the country illegally. With the administration pointing to these arrests as proof the streets are safer, the media now scrambling to paint a different picture. NBC Washington reporter Amy Cho posting a video Wednesday afternoon showing D.C. police and federal agents detaining a man on the National Mall. Agents tackling the suspect to the ground after he ran, resisting arrest. The man heard screaming in Spanish, quote, "I'm not a criminal. I work. I want to be with my family."
Yo no soy criminal. Yo trabajo. Yo quiero estar con mi familia.
Now, any smart person would see that and say, gee, I don't know the circumstances here. I think I will wait to comment. Not these two prominent left-wing journalists, Julie K. Brown of the Miami Herald and Fox News' Jessica Tarlov, rushing to condemn law enforcement without any information whatsoever about the case. Ms. Tarlov tweeting, quote, "This doesn't make D.C. safer. It'll just make people not come to D.C. The cruelty is always the point." Ms. Brown replying to the video, quote, "His crying hits me in the gut, and we will probably never be told who he is, why he was stopped, or if he was here illegally." Au contraire, Julie. Later that afternoon, Amy Cho reporting, quote, "ICE has sent a statement on this man's detention. His name is David Perez Teofani. He was arrested in Fairfax County in 2024 and charged with aggravated sexual battery against a minor under 13, end quote. He was also charged with felony indecent liberties with a minor. The charges were later dropped after the alleged victim and her mother ceased cooperating with authorities, though it was left in a legal status that allows the charges to be reopened if and when the victim chooses to proceed. DHS releasing further information on the man, saying he illegally entered the country 3 times and has a final order of removal against him. So we actually did find out who he is and whether he was here illegally. Maybe DC is a little safer now without this illegal roaming the streets. Do you feel better? I feel better. Brown and Tarlov subsequently deleting the posts. Coming up, what is going on in Northern Virginia? 2 boys suspended after a girl, pretending to be a boy, records the actual boys in their own locker room. How are they to blame? A full report next. You've heard me talk about Jacked Up Fitness and their amazing all-in-one home gym. They know that many people are short on time and money, but still want to get fit. Now you can start your fitness journey for under $60 and in just 6 minutes a day. Introducing the all-new Shake Weight by Jacked Up Fitness. 15 years ago, the original Shake Weight shook the world. Now the fitness legend returns, bigger, better, and built to perform. Why now? Because science has finally caught up with the importance of explosive power and fast-twitch muscle training, something the Shake Weight delivers in a compact, powerful way for beginners, along with heavy lifters and serious athletes alike. Beginners could tone and tighten arms, shoulders, and chest, and athletes could sharpen reaction times and build explosive power for that competitive edge. The Shake Weight is no joke. It's serious training made simple. If you're looking for a fun way to jumpstart or supercharge your fitness routine, get the all-new Shake Weight by Jacked Up Fitness at jackedupshakeweight.com. That's jackedupshakeweight.com. In Virginia last week, Loudoun County Public Schools suspending 2 boys from Stonebridge High School because they dared to question why a girl pretending to be a boy was allowed in their locker room. It gets crazier from there. Loudoun County Public Schools reportedly began investigating 3 boys back in May after the girl secretly recorded the boys in their locker room, a violation of school policy, talking amongst themselves about how they were uncomfortable with her being in their private space. ABC 7 News in Virginia obtaining a copy of the video.
The female student turns on her camera and walks into the boys' locker room at Stonebridge High School. Most of the video is dark, but you can hear locker room sounds and boys' voices. This is the moment some of the boys in the locker room realize the female student is there. 30 seconds later, you hear this.
Why is there a girl? I'm so uncomfortable with a girl. Nah, female, bro. Get out of here.
That's when the female student appears to take the phone out of her pocket and aims the camera at the boys in the locker room.
Despite rules against taking video in a locker room, it appears the female student received no disciplinary action. Loudoun County School Board policy allows students to use bathrooms and locker rooms according to so-called gender identity, regardless of biological reality, a policy in conflict with President Trump's executive order on Title IX protections. Boys and girls should not be subjected to this under the law. The school board opened an investigation into the 3 actual boys, 2 Christian and 1 Muslim, over whether they committed sexual harassment for questioning why the girl was in the boys' locker room. In June, the investigation against the Muslim boy was dropped, finding his conduct did not constitute sexual harassment. But the 2 Christian boys were charged with sex-based discrimination against the girl. The group representing the boys, the Founding Freedoms Law Center, writing in a statement, quote, "While we celebrate the dismissal of our Muslim client from Loudoun County's Title IX sexual harassment investigation, there is absolutely no basis for keeping this going against the 2 Christian boys. The same facts were alleged against them all, yet the only difference is their faith." On Friday, the school issuing a 10-day suspension to the 2 boys and a no-contact order with the female student, including not being able to share any classes with her. This is ridiculous. The father of one of the boys speaking out Wednesday on Fox Business.
This is a natural reaction. Boys in the locker room, they were having a conversation among themselves. They were secretly videotaped. And now it's come to this where my son is being suspended and being characterized as someone that he's not. So we're very shocked and disheartened that this has come to this. If this could happen to my child, this could happen to any child in the public school system. And so something needs to be done. And we are we're actively looking to try to change this so that no other family has to go through this as well.
The suspension now paused following an appeal by the boys' attorney, arguing they are being unfairly punished, the case now in limbo. Last night, a protest was held outside of a Loudoun County Public School Board meeting at which the transgender bathroom policy was discussed. There, a white woman in support of the policy had a message for Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears, who is running for governor against Democrat Abigail Spanberger. "Hey, Winsome," the sign read, If trans can't share your bathroom, then blacks can't share my water fountain. Lieutenant Governor Sears is black. The tolerant left, folks. We spoke with senior fellow at the American Culture Project, a nonprofit fighting to dismantle America's teachers' unions, Corey DeAngelis, who notes this case flips the script on typical Title IX complaints.
A lot of people don't want to have sympathy for boys just because they're boys, but it's the same problem as when you have a boy in the girls' locker room. Now it's flipped. 2 of them were suspended for 2 weeks, which has a huge impact on the beginning of their school year. It's 10 school days. And it's going to have a lasting impact on the rest of their life, arguably, if that goes into their college years, having been branded as a suspended student for 2 weeks. That's a big problem. The ruling or decision on the part of the school district basically slaps Title IX on its face. It turns it upside down. We're basically living in bizarro world. Title IX is a federal law that's supposed to protect people from sexual harassment. And they're basically arguing that the boys are in the wrong here, whereas they're in their own private space and the girl is in the boys' locker room. And this isn't rocket science.
Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares opening an investigation into this incident at the state level, finding, quote, a disturbing misuse of authority by Loudoun County Public Schools, referring the matter to the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights and the DOJ's Civil Rights Division. Loudoun County Public Schools stating, quote, we would not investigate or discipline students based on their personal opinions, thoughts, or beliefs. We reject any characterization that implies our schools are unsafe or that we fail to protect the rights of all students. DeAngelis calls the response gaslighting, noting Loudoun County has been down this road before with devastating consequences.
This is the same school district that basically covered up a rape in a girl's bathroom that was committed by a biological male. And, there was an investigation and everything. The boy was found guilty of raping the girl in the restroom. This is when the father actually showed up at the school board meeting to protest this same policy that allows this girl today into the boys' locker room. It's their policy 8040 in Loudoun County Public Schools allows students to choose their locker rooms and their bathrooms regardless of their biological sex, which is a huge red flag. And it arguably could have contributed to the rape in the bathroom. The parent was upset about this, obviously. He got drug out. It turned out later on that father was in the right. He was rightly upset about this policy, leading to real damage, leading to real harm, and sharing his experience with what happened to his daughter.
That victim later filing a $30 million lawsuit against the school board, whose superintendent had openly lied to parents about whether there had been a rape in the Loudoun County school bathrooms, just 1 month after one had occurred. Those proceedings are ongoing. DeAngelis predicts this fight will not end well for Northern Virginia schools.
They're playing stupid games. They're about to win stupid prizes. Look at the track record that the Trump administration has. They are racking up W after W against the status quo, against the establishment. Look at what's happening with Harvard. They're set to pay the Trump administration $500 million after they tried to play tough at first. Columbia University, you have Brown University. They've already entered into hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements, paying the federal government for being on the wrong side of history. Trump knows what he's doing. He's played this game before, and he's going to win on the side of parents.
And that'll do it for your AM update. I have to tell you, this one has got my heart rate going. Normally, I actually listen to the AM update like you guys are listening to AM update. I listen to it too with my husband, and we have our coffee like a lot of you do. I see the comments on YouTube, and today I don't need the coffee. The actual report has got my heart rate rolling. We have to do it, you guys. The news is crazy. People are crazy. Thank God we're sane. I hope you enjoy the morning program. We're enjoying it a lot. Have a great weekend. We'll be back here later. I'm Megyn Kelly. We'll see you for the Megyn Kelly Show. That's live on SiriusXM Triumph Channel 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms. Deep breathing, deep breathing.